Hi everyone, I'm Palabyab. I'm a professional filmmaker, and today I want to share a simple yet really effective tool that I've been testing the past few months that has been a big help to me as mostly a one-man band filmmaker and a content creator as well. So without further ado, this is CrumplePop from FX. It's a suite of AI-powered audio correction tools that work, frankly, faster and better than anything that I'd used before. Full disclosure, this video is sponsored by FX, but I made sure to take months to test these plugins before sharing them with you. As you can see here on screen, it includes a number of, I think, self-explanatory tools to correct various audio problems. And if you listen to the tests on their website, it's already impressive. But I wanted to test it myself for a few months on both my personal and work projects before sharing it with you and teaching you how to use it. So first, I want to talk about how I used to do audio noise reduction. Naturally, again, as a one-man band filmmaker, managing both the sound and video by myself means that I need to make compromises. And sadly, oftentimes, being mainly a camera person, I foolishly sacrifice sound quality to get the best visuals. So this means that I often need to improve the audio in post, which off the bat I know isn't a great idea, but the reality is it's inevitable in my situation. Now, before this, if I needed a quick solution for personal projects, I just use FCP X's built-in noise reduction, which is fine, or at least I thought it was fine, but it's not the best. Have a listen to these clips. So here I have two clips from a little documentary personal project I did with my friend, celebrity chef. So in this first clip, you're gonna listen to the mic that's on him. He's also mic'd up, but for sake of reference, you're going to listen to all the audio through his mic. And here in the second clip, you are hearing the audio through a shotgun mic at the end of this table pointed towards our talent here. And it's in a noisy bar. So let's listen to the raw audio first.
Not everyone can live in an island. Everyone can go on a holiday in an island, but to stay here for more than 10 years...
And not surf.
And not surf?
Yeah.
That's why I asked earlier, where do you get your joy?
Just hanging out. And I still do my art, so on my off time I'm by myself, painting, drawing.
I've been to beaches like Boracay, El Nido and stuff, but for me this feels more like home. Maybe it's the language, maybe it's the food.
You speak?
I understand. But yeah, so before the pandemic, I would go here just...
Okay, that's the raw audio. Now let's turn on the noise removal of FCP X.
Not everyone can live in an island. Everyone can go on a holiday in an island, but to stay here for more than 10 years...
And not surf.
And not surf?
Yeah.
That's why I asked earlier, where do you get your joy?
Just hanging out. And I still do my art, so on my off time I'm by myself, painting, drawing.
I've been to beaches like Boracay, El Nido and stuff, but for me this feels more like home. Maybe it's the language, maybe it's the food.
You speak?
I understand. But yeah, so before the pandemic, I would go here just...
So, as I'm sure you can hear, it does reduce the noise, but it also makes the voices sound like paper. It's unnatural and just, you know, it screams, I use noise reduction in post. So for professional work where I need higher quality noise reduction, what I would do before is I would instead take the time to round trip it to Adobe Audition. And not even gonna demonstrate it for you here because it involved a lot. So first I had to export the sound clip. So I had to like select the sound clip, the individual sound clips, then export them, then bring them into Adobe Audition, and then highlight a tiny noise sample, you know, when nobody is talking, so it can sample the noise and then based on that, apply correction based on the sampled noise. And then I'd have to export it back out and then bring it into FCP X and sync it over the original clip. So as you can tell, this took precious time and momentum away from my edit. Thank you, screensaver. It made it difficult to apply changes to it afterwards, and then I have to repeat the cycle all over again. But now, enter CrumplePop, and specifically their AudioDenoise all-around plugin, with this plugin, I'm getting high quality results similar to and probably even better than Adobe Audition, but with the single click, no settings to change convenience of the native FCP X plugin. So let me show you how easy it is and demonstrate the results with the same clips I used earlier. All right, so first of all, let's make sure that the old noise removal, the default noise removal is off, and it's as simple as dragging and dropping the plugin. Let's drag and drop it to the second clip. And I never even bothered to tweak the settings because the AI powering the plugin already does a great job. Have a listen.
Not everyone can live in an island. Everyone can go on a holiday in an island, but to stay here for more than 10 years...
And not surf.
And not surf?
Yeah.
That's why I asked earlier, where do you get your joy?
Just hanging out. And I still do my art, so on my off time I'm by myself, painting, drawing.
Not everyone can live in an island. Everyone can go on a holiday in an island, but to stay here for more than 10 years...
And not surf.
And not surf?
Yeah.
That's why I asked earlier, where do you get your joy?
Just hanging out. And I still do my art, so on my off time I'm by myself, painting, drawing.
I've been to beaches like Boracay, El Nido and stuff, but for me, this feels more like home. Maybe it's the language, maybe it's the food.
You speak.
I understand. But yeah, so before the pandemic, I would go here I've been to beaches like Boracay, El Nido and stuff, but for me, this feels more like home. Maybe it's the language, maybe it's the food.
You speak.
I understand. But yeah, so before the pandemic, I would go here
The LGU that we were working with as Ayala, they weren't available. They sent their regrets. So I joined the program with no partner. Same with Miracoro. The LGU that we were working with as Ayala, they weren't available. They sent their regrets. So I joined the program with no partner. Same with Miracoro. The LGU that we were working with as Ayala, they weren't available. They sent their regrets. So I joined the program with no partner. Same with Miracoro.
So the results literally speak for themselves. And another thing I hope you notice too is that it helps make audio that's off axis or far from the mic clearer, and you're more able to boost the volume on that less than ideal audio without too much of a price to pay with the noise, which is a big deal for the kind of stuff I do because I can only mic so many people, and oftentimes someone will say something interesting that's either not on one of the two people with a lavalier or a little bit far from my shotgun mic. So obviously this has been a lifesaver, not just in professional shoots, but in situations where, for example, I've needed to record a YouTube video like this on a tight schedule and it's raining hard outside and I don't have time to wait out the rain. In that situation, in terms of like noise that's pretty uniform, this plugin just sounds fantastic. It makes it sound like you have a dead quiet room. And of course, the CrumplePop suite comes with a bunch of other tools that I'll quickly explain, and you can listen to the sound samples on the website if you're not convinced. Pop Remover helps correct plosives like that, which is great for editing podcasts. Same goes for Echo Remover, which helps treat unwanted reverb in your room, especially if you don't have a treated room. Traffic Remover specializes in removing traffic sounds. Wind Remover specializes in, you guessed it, wind. Rustle Remover is pretty cool because it helps in removing this like rustle you get when lavalier mics rub onto a talent's clothing. Clip Remover is also handy because it helps make clipped audio, you know, when signal gets too hot for your mic, camera, or recorder, helps it to sound decent again. And there's also Levelmatic, which automatically evens out inconsistent sound levels. To be honest, this specifically, I was optimistic about this, but it wasn't very effective for my application in a run-and-gun setting. But if you're doing podcasts and that sort of thing, I think it would be a big help. Now, of course, post-production fixes can only go so far, and these plugins won't work absolute magic with things like loud, irregular noises, like loud background music. It does help a little, but it's not going to magically make your audio super nice. So have a listen to this example where the background music was a little louder. Let's listen to the raw audio first.
Oh, this is how we finish dinner at my house in Italy. Like with my grandma, we always make limoncello. Of course here, can I have the calamansi? Of course, here lemons is not really available, so we use calamansi to make our calamansi cello. That is the base of our calamansi sour. Oh, this is how we finish dinner at my house in Italy. Like with my grandma, we always make limoncello. Of course, here can I have the calamansi? Of course, here lemons is not really available, so we use calamansi to make our calamansi cello. That is the base of our calamansi sour.
And now let's listen to it with the audio denoise from CrumplePop.
Oh, this is how we finish dinner at my house in Italy. Like with my grandma, we always make limoncello. Of course, here can I have the calamansi? Of course, here lemons is not really available, so we use calamansi to make our calamansi cello. That is the base of our calamansi sour.
So, as you can hear, again, it's not completely magic, but you have to admit, I mean, if I didn't have this plugin, I would have been stuck with this audio, no idea how to really fix it, and this was just effortless and just good enough to make the clarity of our chef's audio good enough for a YouTube viewer. In the interest of full transparency, even though this is sponsored, this is pretty system specific, but I find that the plugin is sometimes unstable and it can crash. But here, all I have to do is restart the program, finish my edit, and then if it crashed again, as long as my edit was finished, all I had to do was restart the program and the plugin would never crash in the middle of an export. And so that was the super frustrating thing with the old plugin that I don't get with this. I don't know, it's probably an Apple Silicon problem. I never had super crashy plugins until I went M1, but hey, that's just how it is. But for me, it works reliably enough that I do rely on it. Anyway, all that said, remember, it's always better to get your audio right at the moment of recording so that these plugins can just serve to make good audio better and not try to make really bad audio sound decent, as I've actually tried to do here. And again, in a pinch, I am really happy, super grateful even, to have these tools at my disposal. So, if you want to try out CrumplePop, you can start with a free trial by going to CrumplePop.com with the pop and rustle remover, I believe, fully enabled and the other plugins on trial mode. But if you are convinced, then you can grab a subscription or, thank God, a one-time perpetual license using my affiliate links below. Of course, each purchase helps to support this channel with a modest kickback at no extra cost to you. Of course, these come at a cost. So, if the business model supporting your filmmaking can't justify it yet, don't worry, you'll be fine without them. But if, like me, you don't usually work with a sound recordist and you have paying clients, I think it is a small investment to save your bacon when you can't control things like weather, fan, music, traffic noise, and simple human error. You can ensure your return on investment by doing something like an individual monthly subscription on a per project basis and then charging it back to client. It is only $20 or so US. Let me know if you have any questions below, and please do hit the like button if you enjoyed this. I will see you on the next one. And for those of you waiting for the next episode of my Himalayas vlog series, it's coming. I just got burned out editing at the end of last year. But anyway, thank you, see you next time.